Good morning and you're welcome to this event that has been organized by BudgIT Ghana in collaboration with BITS Partners. My name is Patrick Stevens and I'll help steer the affairs for this particular conversation. So over the next 10 minutes or so, we shall have two quick presentations from the organizers of the event and from representatives of government. Then after that, we shall look into the various assignments that have been undertaken by different civil society organizations that are working in the accountability and governance space.
And I'm so happy that I got opportunity to work at the Ministry of Finance. When COVID hit us and the president declared that we should work towards protecting lives and livelihoods, and we started mobilizing resources. We went to look at our stabilization fund and all of the other resources. We went to our international community to find resources to support us. Because, by the way, for those of you who do not know, our revenues can only take care of compensation and interest payment. So anything else that we spend in this country, all the demand, whether it's roads, whether it is even the additional people, when people go on strike and they said, oh, the state should pay them. The state should the state should give financial clearance and employ all those people. That comes at an additional cost. So already, the revenues that we generate in this country can only pay for our compensation. Less than 1 million people who work for the state. We take care of them, and they we take care of our obligations, which is the interest payment. I started off by saying how far we've come. We have seen improvement over the years. Can we improve? Certainly. Are there examples to be looked at? Yes. Are there lessons to be learned? Of course there are lessons to be learned, and we are ready. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. I want to thank you for including us in your study, and we welcome any opportunity that we get to improve on our systems, but we will not be undermined. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that we have an interesting discussion. Thank you.
For the purpose of this workshop, I'm not going to discuss all the measures that the research looked at. I will just take a few. So first, let's look at, for instance, the executive instruments and directives that were put in place. How did it impact on us as citizens? We know that when COVID started and there were directives around social distancing, there were directives around a ban on public gathering and all that. There were some initial prosecutions, but who were prosecuted? Was it those in the powers that be, or was it the ordinary citizen that was prosecuted? We see politicians violating protocols, but they do not adhere to the protocols, but they are not prosecuted. And also there were funds that were put in place, which were ridiculous. And this gives way to bribery and corruption that we are all fighting against. Because if you say that I don't put on my nose mask and I should be fined 5,000, and at the end of the month my salary is not up to 5,000, where do you expect me to go and find that 5,000? Now let's look at stimulus packages. In our findings, one of the things that we noticed was that 4 households underrepresented among beneficiaries. So for those who enjoyed the subsidies on utilities, and if this benefit was to ensure that we were protecting the vulnerable, we were protecting the poor households, they were underrepresented among the beneficiaries, because less than 20% of households that pay electricity bill fall within forest expenditure quintals. And now we are even being levied for COVID. So how is this levy going to be used? And if already, as a country, we are claiming that we've allocated funds for these things, and now we are levying to pay, how do we handle all this? And who accounts for all the monies that are in? How are the monies being managed?
Now, BudgIT Foundation, which is the mother organization for BudgIT Ghana, has been doing transparency and accountability work for about 10 years now. We 10 in 2 months. And basically what we like to do is to go out there and talk to the grassroots about national budget allocations, just to aid participatory governance. So here we are, we engage people in local communities. This is us in Makola, and in some areas in Ashoma, talking to people about the budget. As I mentioned, we've done this work across a few countries, and in Ghana as well, and these are cross-cutting themes that we feel represent the status quo. We asked about the budget information, how much access they had to information, were they engaged about initiatives, and how much did they generally know about budgetary allocations for their area regarding COVID spending. Healthcare workers were really quite shy, were able to get a few on record. However, we are not going to play them here because that actually puts them at risk. So at this point, we'll go ahead and play the video. Okay, so those are the perspectives of some of the people we spoke to on the ground. And then we centralize that information, because you can have information that this was done and you post a contract on a platform and it's nice to see, but how effective that service delivery was is up to the people in that community, the beneficiaries, to actually tell you. So if no one is going out, if the media isn't able to step into that community, we actually have no way to know whether the service was carried out efficiently or effectively. So what we need, or what we are advocating for as a key recommendation, is for a citizen platform where we can upload information, perhaps with pictures and chats, to indicate the level of service delivery for the different initiatives or interventions that were promised as a result of COVID. Thank you.